are you? Tired. That's what that sounded like. You need some caffeine. Maybe you need Troy Baker. Okay, that brought your energy level up. My name's Crystal. If you haven't seen me in a panel yet this weekend, I'm from Cleveland. I work in radio, and I'm an absolute nerd who loves comic books, video games, and cartoons. Please put your hands together for Troy Baker!
Just need to do. He goes, whatever you do, don't hold it like this. And so I come out. Just to be a jerk. I don't like tables. And I also kind of like putting you guys on the edge of your seats. So I was kind of walk back and forth. And somebody start taking bets right now whether I'm going to fall off the stage.
Yeah, it's a little small ledge right here.
Would anyone like the smallest amount of mints and Tic Tacs that they've ever seen in their entire life?
Aren't they adorable? They're adorable. It's just the right amount.
Did you do that? Or you just already have a question?
You want some
No, we're in it now. Don't be like, no. You did the mints?
Yeah, I think the mints.
Nobody else catch these. If these hit them in the head, I can't believe I can far that throw. I was going to say, I can't believe I can far that throw.
Gentle toss. Woo!
Gentle toss. Let's keep it out this way. So, has anybody met anyone this weekend that they were super nervous to meet? Okay.
Yes.
Me too. So I'm walking yesterday, I'm coming into the green room, and Elizabeth Shue walks past me.
Amazing.
Now, if you're anywhere in my generation, Elizabeth Shue means a lot to you. She was your first girlfriend. She never knew this. And so I look at her, and she does a double take, and the double take is longer than the single take. You know what I mean? And so she's looking at me like, huh. Now, there's a lot going on here. I get that. You got a clock. But she looks at me, and I have enough time to say this. I go, hiya. Hiya. I couldn't get out a 2-letter monosyllabic greeting. Hiya. So she looks at me and goes, and keeps walking. That's it. No.
First impressions.
First impressions means a lot. So I get it. I've been just as much on your side of the table as I've been on mine, okay? Everybody here is a nerd and freaking out that they can't believe Mel Gibson, are you me? Jude Law? It's a good thing that Jude Law has, you don't know this, but Jude Law has his own green room, because I'd be like, can we talk about Gattaca for too long?
Is that your favorite fandom?
With him, I think everybody has their own thing with that person. Like, I got to talk to Ron Howard, and I was like, dude, what advice for your 30-year-old self what advice would you give to your 30-year-old self? And he goes, I don't think any of it applies. I don't think any of it would matter anymore. It's so different now in the industry. But what I want you to know is, just like you said, Crystal, everybody here is a nerd. That is our badge. We will flash it whenever we possibly can. And it's weird because I know that we have, what is this, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Yeah,
okay.
day 4,
so there's
Megacon.
4 days when you get to let that free flag fly. But I do know that there's a lot of people that Monday morning, there's a little bit of fear attached to it. Because you won't be here. And you won't be with the people that you're with. And you won't look the way that you look today. And you won't feel the way that you do today. But I'm telling you, there's no difference between today and tomorrow. None. You will be the same person. So go be the person that you are today on Monday. And don't let anybody tell you that you can't, by the way, because there's a lot of that going on right now. Nobody can tell you who you are, except for you. That's the most powerful thing. You have the total authorship over who you are. Don't ever let the pen out of your hand. It's your story that you're telling. By the way, the panel started. You guys are locked in the room with me now! Woo!
Expand on that is, don't be afraid to be who you are right now, because we don't know what's going to happen in the next 5 minutes. We don't know what's going to happen if there is a tomorrow. So don't be scared to be yourself.
Absolutely not. And honestly, the truth is, nobody cares. Those 2 words should be imprinted somewhere on your body. Nobody cares. That's a great tattoo. Nobody cares. Now, I have a tattoo that says, is the guy who bought meditations into Stoicism, were you in the room? You liar. You said you'd be my panel. There's a great book that I read. I got it when in 2016 I was going through a really, really tough time. And it's written by this dude named Marcus Aurelius.
Oh, yes.
That's not a name drop, by the way, but there's a lot of people who don't know what that is. If you do, maybe you saw the first Gladiator movie, you're like, oh, you mean Richard Harris? Nobody knows Richard Harris anymore. Anyway, I read this book, and it took me 18 months. It's 99 pages, 18 months to read it. I just went through it as slowly as I could. But one of the tenets of Stoicism, you'll see this word, or these two words, memento mori, which means remember that you will die. Now that sounds like, oh, that's awful. No. It's the number one thing we have to deal with, that everybody has to deal with. Keanu Reeves had this great quote the other day. He says, none of us are getting out alive. So enjoy that meal. Go see that thing. Jump into the ocean. It's like, man, what a great way. None of us are getting out alive. Stop fighting it. Remember that you will die. So, go to Megacon and meet Elizabeth Shue and make a fool of yourself. Go to that place. Tell that person you love them. And that thing probably doesn't matter as much as you think that it does. But the reality is, memento mori is a great thing to remember, and nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares what you look like. Nobody cares what you did. Nobody cares what you're thinking. Nobody cares, because we're too wrapped up in our own stuff. It's okay. So when somebody does care, that means a lot. And I'm not talking about notice. What was the quote by Dr. Seuss? The people that don't mind, the people that matter, the people that matter don't mind. So if somebody does truly care, man, that's something special. Not everybody has to care. You don't need to see how many likes and followers you get off of that thing that you do. Ugh, it's Sunday, y'all, and I'm like, I'm feeling it. Anyway, I don't care what's on my mind. I do care what is on yours. So if anybody has any questions, I would love to look at that. Just go, make it a good one. Are you reading or are you filming? I just want to know. Or is it both?
Hi Troy, it's nice to meet you.
You as well.
Well, one thing is I'm hoping that Marvel Rivals comes to Switch 2 because that's the only other console I'm going to be buying at this moment. But
you're going to buy it now?
No, it's not out yet.
I'm about to say, dude, I will. Tell me where. I want to Switch 2 so bad.
I want to play Marvel Rivals so bad. I'm not playing on any of those consoles because they're both getting the game. But my question for you is, you don't really do a lot of anime as much anymore, but one role I always remember you the most was Excalibur on Soul Eater. What was it like getting to voice that character, knowing...
Some of you nod and clap, and the other you look very confused. Neither of you are wrong.
The most powerful weapon of King Arthur.
Fool. Again, 50% of the audience goes, haha. The rest of you go, I don't... There was an amazing anime that I did, and the director was like, hey, I want you for this character. Like, you really should get, like, Chris Sabat would crush this. I was like, no, I want you to do it. That's been a pattern in my life, by the way, of saying no to great characters. And I would say, fool, all the time. Fool. Watch the anime, it's amazing. I do a lot of anime. I don't do as much as I used to. But did anybody watch Baki? Okay, 12 people? Hi. It was great. Here's the funny thing. I told, so Jamie Simone was the showrunner on that, and I've always made a joke and said, people are like, what's the least favorite thing you've ever done? Because it's a clever question to ask that's above the norm. And I was like, oh, okay, I should probably get an answer to this. And so I said, there's a show called Baki the Grappler, and it's terrible, and I was in it, and I hate it. That's like on YouTube. So Jamie Simone calls me, he was like, hey man, could I get you to come back and do some anime? I was like, absolutely, dude, I love anime, what do you got? He's like, it's a lead character. I was like, what's the show? He goes, it's called Baki, and I hung up on him. He was joking with me. I'm like, dude, I'm busy. He's like, call me, he was like, what is that? I was like, I thought you were kidding. He was like, no, I'm serious. Netflix is bringing back this show. We're taking it over, it's really, really good. I want you to play Baki. I'm like, okay. And so we did kind of 3 seasons of it, and it was amazing. What I love is that a character that I did 15 years ago You still remember you're still filming this, aren't you? I'm going to use up every bit of storage space. Talking about a character.
I have respect for more voice actors than regular actors, so yeah.
Ooh.
Bring me Jude Law. Or let's shoot first, then Jude Law. I appreciate that, man. What I love to do is I love to work. If somebody gives me an opportunity to have a character, and somebody asks me, like, you probably do the same thing, what's your favorite character? I'm going to answer it for everybody. The favorite character that I will do, my favorite character of all time, is the one I'm working on right now. It has to be. If it's not, then I'm not the person that should be doing that role. The role that I have right now is my favorite, and that will change on the daily. So Monday I'm going to do one, Tuesday I'm going to do another. That role, in that session, on that day, in that story is my favorite thing that I've ever done. I'm eat up with it, completely obsessed with it, nothing else exists. If that's not the truth, and this goes for any actor, step aside. Because I guarantee you, it should be and it will be somebody else's favorite. So if it's not my favorite, I really shouldn't do it. And there have been more roles that I've been like, hey, I really think you should get somebody else for this. I'm not in love with it. There's just nothing that's jumping off the page and grabbing me. People go, what's a paycheck? So, this is art. It should be art. Sometimes you get paid for art. I look at the stuff that Michelangelo did. You know how much he got paid for doing the Sistine Chapel? Something like the equivalent of like $6,000. That's it. Of today's money, not his. It's not about, if you're doing this for the money, there's so many other things you could be doing.
So many it on his back is yeah.
We just got wrapped up in our own conversation. Dude, I appreciate you, man. I love anime. If I ever get another opportunity to do anime and it's the right role for me, I will absolutely do it. And if you get a line on a Switch too, you just let me know because I want that one too.
Well, it's more because I just want to play Rivals on when we get other consoles where it's a joke again.
Well, there we go. We'll play that together. Thank you. I appreciate you. Cheers.
Thank you.
One question down. That's our time. What you got?
Hello.
Hello.
It's very nice to see you here at Megacon.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm sure you get told all the time that like your range is just impeccable.
Go on.
You could never hear it enough, right?
Well,
You were saying how talented I was?
well, yes. But I guess if I had to ask one question, you're again range is impeccable. You voiced the Joker, you voiced Indiana Jones. And I know it's probably a lot of files to go through in your head, but if you had to say like at least one character that was a bit more challenging for you.
Indiana Jones.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. He's a
Look,
licensed character.
All of them have their challenges, right? Joel, I was not equipped to do that character at all. And I had to learn on the job training. There was so many things, like the perfect example of that is, anybody know the story of Sarah's death? How many times we shot it? You know why? Because I wasn't good enough the first time. Period. Period. It was good enough for some, but it wasn't good enough for Joel. It wasn't good enough for The Last of Us. And so the fact that we went in and did it again, I grew as an actor. So much so that when I went in for Uncharted 4, I grew as an actor in that. The number one piece of direction that Neil gave me, and to this day is still the same, it's almost a joke now, he goes, do less. And that is his mantra. What is the least amount that I can write? What is the least amount that I can do? What is the least amount that conveys the stakes of this scene? And that is something that I tell actors, as a director, I tell them all the time. It's the least amount that you can do. I'll ask an actor, like, so what's your action? And who's an actor in this room? Who wishes they were an actor? These are the hands that should have been up for the first question. Okay? Because the only reason why you didn't raise your hand the first time is because either A, someone told you you can't do it, or B, someone hasn't given you money for it. Heard? Who's an actor in this room? That's what we're talking about. Cool. So, best thing you can do as an actor. What is my action? To what? To control, to argue, to confront, to apologize, to love, to comfort, whatever it is. If you can't distill down that scene to 2 words, to what, you need to go back and rewind and figure something out. Because I have these actors that go, well, I really feel like right now my character and the arc were there, because we're still in Act 2, and I feel like I want to what? Well, it's more about no, you don't know what this scene's about. To what? To confront. Great. Every line that you have, to confront. Oh, you're still here. So, snap to Indiana Jones. There's 3 roles that I've turned down. Joel almost walked out of the audition. Joker flat out said no. And Ames Kirchin, who was the vice president of Warner Brothers Games at the time, said, get over your ego. Trust us that we're going to make a good game. And we're not going to make it bad. A late Metacritic review for Arkham Origins. So, 86, we did okay. And Jones. Tom Keegan is the performance director on that, called me up out of the blue. I'd never worked with him before. He goes, hey, I like you for this role. And I said, one question. Do they want Harrison Ford? He was like, they want 1981 Harrison Ford. I said, great, here's 2 names. Call one of these 2 people and they're gonna get you sorted. And he goes, okay, thanks for that. I have a casting person, but I like you for this role. And I said, man, if it's good enough, I'll put myself on tape, but if it's good enough, pass it on. But if it's bad, bro, keep it between you and me. And he did, he sent it on. Todd Howard, executive producer, runner, yeah, woo! See, he still has some Elden Ring thing. Elder Scrolls fan, not Elden Ring, completely different game. He said, no, I don't want Troy Baker in my game. Now, who would have thought that success would breed that? You'd think, like, do you even audition anymore? It's like, sometimes I'm in competition with myself, where they go, the last thing I want is Troy Baker in my game. Or the last thing I want is Joel in my game. Nolan North had that problem in 2000, whatever, because all of a sudden, it wasn't that Nolan North was in every game, Nate Drake was in every game. You know what I mean? Oh, it'd be great to put Nate Drake in Prince of Persia. It would be great to put Nate Drake in Assassin's Creed. Yeah, well, there's that too. So it all culminates 3 years of working on that game, 2 years of filming in Sweden, and a whole other year of ADR and VO. And that leads to walking out on the stage at the Game Awards, and there's Harrison Ford. Now, he was super kind, and they had written some stuff for him, and he goes, and I had heard that Harrison does not like to ad-lib, so I was like, he's gonna say, either he's not gonna do it or he's gonna say whatever you put on there. And it wasn't great. And he comes out and he was like, if I had known it was gonna be this good, I would have done it myself. And I'm like, dude, that's all I needed to hear in my entire life. And then we go backstage, and we're taking pictures together. And I said, you know, man, this is the hardest job I've ever had to do in my life. And he looks at me and goes, really? And I said, yeah, man. He goes, why? I said, I had to be you for 3 years. That's a big challenge. And I said, but sure as hell was worth it.
Yeah.
And if I'm not trembling, if I'm not shaking, if I'm not being stretched, if I'm not scared out of my mind and wanting to say no, can't be my favorite role. That's a part of it too. If you're looking for the job that you're just like, oh, I feel so good to do this, it's probably not the one you should do. That's some training wheels you need to break off. So the job that I look for is the one that I'm like, I don't think I can do that. Oh shit, never got it.
You can't grow if you're not challenging
You can't
yourself.
grow if you're not challenging yourself. So look for those challenges. But that's definitely the one that was the most challenging for me.
That makes sense.
2 questions down. Right.
Hello. I just want to say real quick, since acting was brought up, I learned
Yeah.
in college that acting is living truthfully in imaginary circumstances.
Stanislavski, absolutely.
And you not only do that, but you bring us into your imaginary circumstances in every performance you do, and I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
I have a Death Stranding question.
Uh-oh.
What do you think Higgs... Right on. What do you think Higgs learned in Death Stranding 1 that is going to make him even more of a threat in Death Stranding 2?
I cannot answer that question. I cannot answer that question, but it is a very pertinent one.
Through the spoiler filter.
But part of the main thing is that one thing Hideo would not want me to tell you is that when you come through on the final level, you'll... That's what I'm most excited to do that. find out. You'll find out.
Something to look forward to.
The snipers are ready.
Yeah, homie.
Hey Troy, this is a very goofy question. A friend kind of.
Any kid that grew up in the 90s just knew exactly what I was talking about. If you don't have a certain song going through your head, you didn't grow up in the 90s. Go ahead.
What would you do if Buzz Lightyear ate a Pringle?
I feel like I'm about to fall prey to the best or worst dad joke. I don't know, what would I do if Buzz Lightyear ate a Pringle? Oh, this is a legitimate question.
It is.
I feel like the walls are going to open up if I get this answer correct. It has been a simulation. If Buzz Lightyear ate a Pringle, he couldn't just eat one.
Once you pop, you just can't stop.
That's what it is. That's the better slogan. Do you have an answer?
I will let him eat it.
Fantastic. We're going with that one. No, come on. Amazing. I can guarantee you in your life you'll never hear that question again. Unless it's a weird Tim Allen panel. Thank you, man. Appreciate you asking that question. All right. What you
Never
got?
heard that before either, I'm sure.
I'm mildly stung off in that last lesson. Hi, Troy. Nice to meet you.
You as well.
Kind of grew up with you back in high school when I first heard you as Kanji in Persona 4.
I love the slow swell.
But there was actually another game you did afterwards. I want to ask a question now.
Okay.
So, how do you feel about Vincent Brooks?
Oh, boy.
Catherine?
I'm glad. Hey, Vincent Brooks, förlåt, dök med det. We used to summer with the Brooks. The incident. I love what Atlas does, and to speak on specifically kanji, when I came in there and they were like, so here's kanji, I was like, okay, see, the tough dude, leather jacket, whatever. And they're like, and then there's shadow kanji, and I went, oh, we're gonna have fun with this. So we started recording, and I'm getting looks from them, and they're like, I was like, how are you feeling, guys? Like, it's good. Can you make it more serious? I went, you want me to make this more serious? They're like, yeah, we're really trying to have a conversation with this character. And I went, oh. And so I said, let me come out and talk to you. And we sat in the control room of the recording booth, or the recording studio, and I was like, what do you really want to accomplish with this character? And they're like, we really think this is a perfect opportunity to talk to people who are either specifically struggling with their sexual identity, or at the very least, the whole thing is wrestling with the shadow version of yourself, a version of yourself that you don't know how to fight. And of course, ultimately, what you realize, it's not about fighting them, it's about accepting them and embracing them. And I went, I want to redo all of this. Like, I apologize for not understanding that. And the amount of people that have come up to me afterwards and said, and what I love is seeing where they're like, hey, I just started playing Persona. I'm like, how you doing? They're like, I'm learning a lot. I'm like, okay. Versus the person who said, hey, I grew up playing Persona, and kanji tatsumi really means a lot to me. It's almost become this code word in the same way, like if I look at someone who has, someone in this room may have this, you have the semicolon on your, as a tattoo. Anybody in the room have that?
Semicolon?
What's up? I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're here. Does anyone else know what that means? Okay. There's like this unspoken understanding about, in one way or another, that character or that thing, it's like we belong here and we understand. And I've learned something about this, and this is why I love games. TV and film can move us as well, but there's just something different when you play The Last of Us and trying to explain the story of The Last of Us. We can do a lot more easily now because we've got the show. But you get to the winter episode, and it's like, it's great. But man, who remembers the first time winter starts and Ellie's just standing there in the snow, and you go, I don't know, what am I supposed to do? And you push on that left stick and she moves. Like, the last time this happened, it did not go well. Last time I played a girl, did not go well. So there's this unspoken connection that we have with games that you just can't get in a TV or film. I'm a sea Catherine all the way, but when I did full body, I went ran. So I don't know that. You thought I forgot your question, didn't you? I got you. I love Catherine, man. And if you haven't played that game, it's nightmarishly hard. It's Q*bert on crack. But it's so much fun, and only Atlas can take a game about, you know, a weird relationship, to say the least, and make it fun. Yeah, Elden Rings isn't hard. Play an Atlas game. There you go. Soulsborne, whatever. Thank you, dude. My pleasure. That's my question.
No.
Okay.
Actually, kind of not really. So obviously music is a huge part of Joel as a character, also you. I love your solo music, by the way.
Thank you.
If you release more, I'm there.
Working on it.
Hell yeah. If you had to write a song for one of your characters besides Joel, who would it be, why, and what would it sound like?
Oh. Ooh. Damn, girl. So if you had not had that little, you know, qualifier, I'd been like, I happen to have an album of it. I've written all these songs for Joel, and we're working on putting out the album right now. And I found myself in quarantine really missing him, and then especially after Last of Us Part 2. Bye, bud. He's got to go to school. He's still ready for school. Ready for the playground. I wrote an entire album, and I continue to write too. If I were to write, man, give me a second to think about this.
I know what I want, but I'm not going to.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm not going to say it yet. I want to spoil your answer.
She gave me hints.
For some reason, I keep coming back to Booker. I feel like. Like Booker being able to pick up the guitar, and well, I remember this song and play that and play Will the Circle, but like I could see him. Yeah. Oh, what a great moment it is. I really need to think about that. What's your answer?
I want the Higgs rock song like you would not believe.
All right. I'll make a phone call. Yeah, we're doing. There's a really cool reason why Higgs sings and plays guitar, and that's Hideo's story to tell. But when he told me that, it really landed on me. I was like, thank you. That means a lot. It's a huge honor. He constantly surprises me, and I like getting to know Hideo. Kojima-san is like, wow. Hideo was like, man, you're a really interesting cat. All right, I'm gonna have to. We'll have to have a conversation.
You're already brainstorming?
Yeah, I'm already brainstorming. There's some great music coming in Death Stranding 2, I can tell you that. Yeah. There's obviously a huge void that's left from the first game, but there's definitely going to be some great music in the second one for sure. Yeah. Thank you. Yes, I'm sorted, but not sorted. Sorted, like not sorted. You understand what I'm saying? It's not sorted.
Yes.
He's sorted. Sword. Sworded.
Sworded.
Go ahead.
So when I saw you getting on stage for the Game Awards, I knew your voice sounded like really familiar to me. I just couldn't place it when, and then I would like browse your IMDb page a bit, and I realized you voiced Cyrus and like Alstar in the Infinity Blade mobile games back in like 2010.
Anybody else?
2014.
Anybody else?
Older.
What's up? What's up? Go on, funny story.
No, and then I kept browsing your IMDb page, and then there was like roles. I was like, oh wow! And so like Skylander, you voiced several characters in Skylanders.
Yep.
You voiced Schneisel and like Kogias. And I just had a question: was there ever a moment that you just realized, oh, I did do that, or like just not just saying like any particular role, or like when you did like Espio and Sonic? But like, is there any role you're like, oh, I did do that, or just something you completely forgot about until someone reminded
Because
you?
you've done so many.
I don't think. I want to be cautious about this. I think I do a pretty good job of not forgetting roles that I've done. Somebody came up to me today for my. I got to be in Star Trek Lower Decks, And they were like, "George, your character name?" I was like, I remember the job and I remember the scene, but I don't remember his name because he never says his name. He never goes, "Hi, I'm whatever." Somebody else says it or whatever. That's somebody else's line of dialogue. I don't know. But there's pretty much not a role that I think I go, "Oh, I forgot that I did that." Now someone's gonna come up to me, "Remember this?" I'm like, nope. So don't make a liar out of me. But I played out of Infinity Blade and spent too much money because you could start upgrading it, and I almost broke my iPad because you know what I'm talking about, Infinity Blade? Here's what's funny. I'm Jonesy in Fortnite because of Infinity Blade. I kid you not. So that was an epic game. I was working with Don Mustard, and we were doing this, and I came in and I was such a fan of Infinity Blade because it was me and Laura Bailey came in for Infinity Blade 2. I can't believe we're talking about this game. And I was like, he was so surprised that I knew. It's almost like Sifu. Do you anybody play Sifu? Sifu kind of like played Infinity Blade and went, we can make this better. Because it's very much, any game that uses death as a mechanic I love. So the whole thing was like, you die and it's your ancestor that goes back and fights you, or fights for you. So I came in as like, oh, this is very much like this, but in the original Infinity Blade, to save on money, it was a silent protagonist and it was a made-up language. And so now we were actually bringing out, actors, and so he's like, I want you to do it. And so from that, he was like, I want to find something for you to do. Cut to, we're both a couple drinks in at Dice in Vegas. And he was like, I need to get you into Fortnite. I'm like, you have like Travis Scott, you're fine. And he goes, no, I'm going to get you into Fortnite. And then, a little while later, he comes back and he's like, I'm going to make you Jonesy. And I went, Jonesy doesn't talk. He goes, he does now. So that's, what I'm saying is like, you never know what job is going to lead to the other one. You never know what PA on that set is going to end up being the director on the next one. So don't be a and it's not to preserve your career, it's just that the people that want you to succeed could also be the people that help make you succeed. I just clocked you and you were terrifying and it's great. One of the best can you stand the black from, yeah, dude. Wow. Loved you in the last season. This is great. Anyway, thank you for reminding me of stuff that a lot of times gets looked over. Because every job has maybe the actor and the person that I am today, so none of them are not appreciated, man.
Thank you again, sir.
James, thank you.
About 15 minutes.
15 minutes, I can do that. What you got, homie?
So I would be remiss if I didn't mention that I'll save that for the booth.
Are you about to propose? Is this about to happen? Okay.
So when Last of Us first came out, I had just become a new dad myself. So that story of guardianship and protection really resonated with me. I'm curious, as your time spent playing that role, did that help or inform you at all in your own journey of being a father?
It hindered me for the longest time because when I was in a band, I wrote a song about cocaine. Okay.
Sounds like a true band to me.
And yeah, and if my guitarist looked at me and he goes, don't ever write a song that you can't write from experience. Oh my God. And he was right. He was like, you're writing about something, but you're not writing about it. You know what I mean? And so when we started doing The Last of Us, Neil has this story, A Second Chance for Sarah, that he's had with him since he was in high school. And it's iterated and grown and developed and changed. And it became very real for him when he had his daughter. And so all of a sudden it was like, this is what the story's about. What do I look like in the event that something happens to her? What kind of person would I really be? I wasn't a dad. And so I was, for the longest time, you're seeing someone struggle to understand how to be a dad. And that's why Joel works, right? Is because for the time that we see with him, there's one scene specifically, and you guys may or may not remember it. We have to get out of here. When he looks at Sarah, and he was like, there's a way that a dad is just looking at their kid, and he goes, you're coming across too mad, but there's a way that a father will talk to their child when it's serious. where you can't scare them, you need to inform them, but you need to speak as cleanly and as plainly as possible. I'm not a dad, so I didn't know how to do that. And we had to do that scene over and over and over and over again. I can see from the was like, you just have to be a dad to do this. So, when we're doing The Last of Us Part 2, I was a dad. And everything changed. And the feeling of what would it look like if my child was in front of me and I had to look at them and say, I've betrayed you. Now it's real. So, I think that the person that I am has changed because of The Last of Us. And the person that Joel is has changed because I'm a dad now. But those are sometimes, it's great as actors to pretend. But I had who's now become one of my mentors, Tom Keegan, performance director on Indiana Jones. One of the biggest unlocks he had with me 2 weeks ago, I spent a workshop with him. He goes, it's all bullshit. All of this is bullshit. Like, it's not real. Don't try to make it real. Root it in something that is real. And that is when it becomes real to you. Because what you're being presented is the final thing. What I'm being presented is a bunch of actors wandering around on the stage on a Monday in a mocap suit. I can't make that real, but I can root it in something that is real. So if you're a dad, if you're a parent, and you play The Last of Us, I salute you. Because it is a terrifying thought experiment as a parent. But it has been a life lesson that I love, and I love my son better because of Joel.
Same.
Cheers.
I don't know if you remember me from the autograph statement that I drew Joel.
Yeah.
And
I thought do we put a picture up?
but I have a recital coming up soon where I have to sing and play guitar, and I am super nervous about it.
Yeah.
So, since you were a lead singer and rhythm guitarist for Trip Fontaine, I was wondering if you had any advice about stage fright and being confident in your music.
Play the song for yourself. Invite us into your song. I spent a lot of times trying to be a front man. All the people that I really respected were great frontmen. And what I realized is what we truly enjoy is when someone is having a moment that we are privy to. When they have the quietest, most introspective thing, and they allow us to see them in their most vulnerable state. So, as a matter of fact, there's a song that we're doing right now, and the producer that I'm working with is like, just get a rough version of the song down. I just want to have a demo of it. And time has been at a premium lately, and there's a lot of stuff that I've needed to do. And one of these things was to go up into my office, in my studio, and just single mic, acoustic vocal, that's it. And we were on the clock, we had to get this done. And I've been gone a lot, and I've been spending a lot of time with my son. And he was gonna go to bed soon. And so my wife was getting him ready, so I go to my studio, and I'm right in the middle of the perfect take. Tweet! And I look at him, he's like, oh, I'm sorry, he's 6. And I was like, no, dude, get in here. He's like, are you recording? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, well, do you want me to leave? And I went, no, I don't want you. I want you to stay. He goes, okay, I'll be real quiet. He's 6.
What's real quiet?
So he likes to engineer, which means he likes to push 3 on the keyboard and starts Pro Tools recording. So he puts on the headphones. I put on my headphones, and I start playing this song again. He presses 3. You're recording, Dad. Okay. And I play through. I'm almost done at the end. And I can hear his feet shuffling. I can hear him getting fidgety. And he drops something, and I hear him go, and it's all on tape. And he's like, I'm sorry. And I said, it's perfect. And I sent it on to my producer. He's like, I'm not changing a thing. It's, yeah, what I want you to take from that is don't you dare go out there trying to be perfect. Go out there and be flawed and vulnerable and fail and start over and hit the wrong note, sing the wrong note, and let everybody else have the privilege of seeing you in such an honest moment. And that is what they will remember, not some girl that played the song perfect. Cool?
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's what people can relate to, is emotions, we're all humans. And that's what you want, is to connect with the audience, and they can't connect with you if you're not emoting and you don't feel it truly.
I'll never forget Paul McCartney at Coachella one year singing Hey Jude and stops playing and goes, I forgot in the woods. And the audience started singing it back to him. Can you imagine that from his perspective? It's just like, wow, that's impact, that's legacy. When 250,000 people are singing, of all generations are singing, something you wrote 60 years ago back at you. It's not about being perfect, you guys. It's about being honest. That's it. What you got?
So I'm a new fan, so I'm sorry if you answered this question before.
Doesn't matter.
But what is one nostalgic moment that like you had during voice acting that you wish you could go back to and like redo it every single time?
Man, it's gonna change on the daily. There's a lot of moments on The Last of Us that I was like, I wish I could go back and do that all over again for one reason or another. Either it was because I thought I could do better.
You did such a good job.
Thank you.
I'm telling you, I played the game like a month ago, and my girlfriend, who's Dina, like right over there, she introduced me to it, and when Joel died, you could ask her, I was screaming into a pillow for 20 minutes. I was so mad.
I was showing for 25, but okay.
I was so mad, and she was like, keep playing. And I was like, no, I'm not keep playing. I'm not gonna play again.
Can I tell you a story?
Huh.
So when, obviously we got a lot of, the release was a very dynamic time. And before the game came out and the leaks had happened, I'll never forget where I was when Neil called me. It was like, we got leaked. And instant rage hit. Everything that we worked hard on to message so that you had a specific experience, which is a great lesson you can never control what the audience is going to do. But you can sure try it. I'm sitting in my backyard, which is, I could have like created a path in my backyard from conversations with Neil, just like wearing it on the grass. And he said, do you think we did the right thing? And it wasn't a director talking to an actor, it was a friend talking to a friend. And I looked at him, I said on the phone, I don't know, Neil, I haven't played the game yet. And that's the truth, because if I had said we absolutely did, then I'm being just as bigoted as the person who says it's the wrong choice and they haven't played the game. And so there I am. My son has just been born. And I'm only being able to play at like, midnight to 3 o'clock in the morning. And I get to that scene and I'm like, I'm exhausted. And I start to put the controller down. I was like, I can't leave on that note. I'm gonna at least run around for a little bit. And so if you play the game, after that scene comes Joel's house.
Yes, and then she finds all the stuff.
All this stuff. And so I texted Neil, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and I go, forgive me if I'm spoiling, the game's been out for a while. If you haven't watched season 2, it doesn't matter. I texted Neil and I said, the house is the funeral and the wake. It is the mourning and the celebration. And for anybody who, if you have played the game or you've heard that thing about the game and you haven't played it, it's just like winter, pushing left on the stick and see how they move for the first time. You have to experience it. And I can tell you from experience, as someone who wrestled with that choice for a long time, and went through all the different stages of grief to be able to get to the point where I can stand here before you in full honesty, not as a bullet point or as a marketing stand-up, but as someone who believes in the story. It is the right thing. We did do the right thing. There is no other story that we could tell but that one. And if anybody has a better idea, pitch it to me. I'd love to hear it. But so far, no one has. In 5 years, no one has pitched me a better story. So I stand by it. I love it. And more than anything is I love what you get on the other side. I love that you get the house. I love that you see a side of Ellie that you've never seen before. I love that you start becoming empathetic towards Abby. It's everything that we wanted to accomplish with that story. So if you haven't played it, sorry, you have played it, and you haven't finished it, you gotta get through the bad stuff to get to the good. Yeah? Do we have time for one more?
We have 1 minute, so let's do one more question before we wrap up.
Go.
Are you here till 5 today? What time are you here till today?
No, I think I'm here till like 4.
So they can, if you do have a question, they still can
come to the table. Absolutely.
Yeah?
I'm not leaving you right away.
Yeah.
What you got?
I found out Phil died in the Facebook comments. That was fun.
Oh, not the
So, I think Retro Replay was really something special for a lot of fans.
I agree.
And seeing you and Nolan bonding on the couch was like really wholesome. Like you were kind of our dads for a year. And I know you left for like maybe some creative and personal differences.
Sure.
I was wondering if you had any other ideas for side projects or ideas for a reunion, or there were any other like passions you wanted to pursue or explore.
Nolan is still a friend, will always be. You can't share that much life with someone and never be separated from them. We're working on something together right now. I love that time of Retro Replay. I still watch episodes. I still laugh at the episodes. We had so much fun, and the drives down, because we had to drive 2 hours each way to get down to set. So 4 hours of commuting with Nolan, you're gonna get to know each other really well. Sometimes in traffic, we're like, we're gonna murder each other. We also would have a rule to where we wouldn't talk to each other a lot of times, because we're like, save it for the couch, save it for the couch, save it for the couch, because we didn't want to get those conversations. I was like, I don't know what have you been doing for the last 2 weeks? Save it for the couch.
Because it's acting, you're not really having that natural conversation.
Yeah, and that to me is the thing, is that all I care about is whatever I do has the most authenticity as possible. I want it to be authentic. I don't want to do the big glitzy glammy thing. I don't want to do something that feels put on or gimmicky or sticky. I want to do real, because I believe that's what you deserve, and it's honestly what you really want. You don't want to see versions of ourselves, you want to see us as the real people. And I always try to be who I am at all times. There's never a persona that I try to put on. I did that for the first 35 years of my life, and I'm done. Yay! And I'm done. Yeah. As far as side projects, brother, much to my wife's chagrin and her frustration, you have no idea how many side projects I have. I have albums that I'm working on. I have games that I'm working on, that I'm making. I have stories that I want to tell, films that I want to shoot. I want to do it all. I want to wake up every morning and French kiss the day until I just can't stand it anymore. And then I'll be done, and that's it. And one of my favorite, if you ever read Meditations, the last entry is, upon leaving this world, depart this life satisfied, knowing that your time was enough. It was sufficient. My life was sufficient. And that's what I want to do. I just want to depart this life satisfied. That's all that I care about. Thank you guys for spending your time.
Thank you so much.